Are you serious? Are you serious? Welcome to the Coming Apocalypse. I'm Pastor Paul Begley. Wow! Last night was a knock'em, sock'em, rock'em, shock'em broadcast with Mike from around the world. Let me tell you all about that. And plus, I have an announcement about a prophecy conference coming to Birmingham, Alabama. But we're going to go through the highlights. We're going to play some of the highlights from last night's incredible broadcast. First of all, let's put a shout out. Patriots, if you're 40 years old and up, you have a Gmail, listen up, because weeks ago, the biggest email hack ever just leaked over 183 million passwords. Yours, most likely, is out there right now, handed to the hackers who steal your Social Security number, bank details, even your name, to try to drain your accounts or rack up debt in your name. That's identity theft. Crooks pretending to be you, wrecking your credit, your savings, your life, while you fight to prove it's not you. But here's your fix. Virtual Shield Identity Protection. Just easily sign up. Click on that link below the video. Go to virtualshield.com/Paul. And it will scan the dark web every day for your leaked info. It'll blast an alert to your phone if something's fishy, like that Gmail breach popping up. If thieves strike, you have up to $5 million worth of insurance that can help cover the lost wages, legal fees, stolen money. Plus, 24/7, the U.S. experts are handling the calls and the cleanup. You just relax. It'll even monitor your kids' identities. Guys, go right now. Click on the link below the video. Seriously. virtualshield.com/Paul. That's virtualshield.com/Paul. You'll be glad that you did. I promise you that. All right. Wow. Well, last night's broadcast was incredible. It really was. And we had so much. I'm going to show you some. We're going to go through the highlights of it last night. This is a quick way, but maybe to get some of the highlights. But if you want to really get the full content, you want to watch last night's broadcast right here on YouTube. But let's start here. Oh, yeah, by the way, get your coffee cup. Yep. Do you have yours? Do you have your Are You Serious cup yet? Do you have it? Oh, it's such a sharp cup. Are you serious? Jesus saves. And it really does. And I want you to get a cup. They'll ship it right to your home. Wonderfully. By the way, it's incredible. Everybody's got to have one cup at least this year. Plan for yours. Okay, here we go. I hope I don't have to have echo cancellation on this. I'm not sure. So I might need a little help on that, guys, if you hear an echo. But there's a prophecy conference coming in Birmingham, Alabama, and I really would like to play. You guys got 54 seconds? I'm going to be speaking in this conference, but I'm not the only one. There is some powerful speakers. I really want you to see this, and then we're going to get into the highlights if you missed last night's entire broadcast, okay? Okay.
We have breaking news.
With regard to 2026, I believe that God is giving birth to a reaping generation.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
The Lord is saying, you are made for this time. You are made for this time. I'm giving you reformers, I'm giving you leaders, I'm giving you people that can stand and rise with the world and the way things are going.
We do live a supernatural existence. We do live in a world where there is a cosmic war constantly for your soul. The sooner you can come to understand that is a reality, everything else just falls into place.
I'm going to tell you right now, the technology for the bring about the mark of the beast is on its way.
Jesus said, look for the days of Noah. Go back and study the days of Noah. And bow up, man up, woman up, put your armor on, grab your sword, and get ready. Because disclosure day is here.
This is powerful, guys. This is going to be a very powerful webinar. I'm sorry. Thank you for letting me know that there were echoes. And so I'll play it again here in a little bit, but you could hear. Yes, echoes, but we can hear it. Well, I want to be sure you can hear it. Let's play it one more time. How about that?
We have breaking news. Breaking news.
In regard to 2026, is I believe that God is giving birth to a reaping generation.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
The Spirit of the Lord is saying, you are made for this time. You are made for this time. I'm giving you reformers, I'm giving you leaders, I'm giving you people that can stand and rise with the world and the way things are going.
We do live a supernatural existence. We do live in a world where there is a cosmic war constantly for your soul. The sooner you can come understand that that is a reality, everything else just falls into place.
I'm going to tell you right now that the technology for the bring about the mark of the beast is on its way.
Jesus said, look for the days of Noah. Go back and study the days of Noah and bow up, man up, woman up, put your armor on, grab your sword, and get ready. Because disclosure day is here.
Wow, this is going to be a great conference. I'm telling you that right now. That's again, that's March 27th through the 29th. And actually, if you register early, you can get a discount. Okay, so the Big Picture Prophecy Conference is March 27th through the 29th. Friday night, Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, Sunday morning, and Sunday night. Solid Rock Church in Pinson, Alabama. Okay, in Birmingham, Alabama. And it's Bishop Larry and Sandy Ragland, Pastor Paul Begley, Joseph Z, Alan Dido, and Tony Merkel. Okay. Wow. It would be great. If you use the promo code Paul, you know, the regular price is going to be $79 for each person to attend. But if you use the promo code Paul, it will only be $50. Okay. So you can save some money. So check it out. Okay. Go there and get ready for this conference. All right. Now, I can't wait. Oh, here we go. Last night with Mike from around the world, it really got interesting. Let's take a look at some of the highlights of what we're saying. And oh, by the way, yes, you can get your coffee cup. We want you to get your Are You Serious coffee cup. It's available at our website. And everybody I can't believe people jumped all over these hoodies last night. The Salvation Station hoodies, 6 sizes, 11 different colors. People like purple. A lot of purples were some charcoal, some blues were also in there. A lot of people like a lot of these colors. Get yours. You got 11 different colors to pick from. Pick the size you need. And it's quality, great quality hoodies. So find out about that. All right, let's get right into this. Mike from around the world highlights. Here we go. We want to add this to the stage, right? Yes, we do. Here we go. Right? Here we go. Right? You make me remove that one. Okay. There we go. Let's look at the highlights from last night, okay? It was very interesting how things went last night. And it started with this, first of all, with this Iranian crackdown. I think we'll go here. Check this out. Human rights groups are sounding the alarms that should really shake the conscience of the world, if you ask me. And according to multiple independent counts, as many as 25 to 30,000 people have been killed, slaughtered in the streets, innocent. They've had their internet turned off for 3 weeks, so you really can't get to see the bodies piled up down the street. The morgues overflowing, the hospitals overrun. And now we got reports from some of our government insiders that they're actually stacking bodies in military bases, in warehouses, so that in case President Trump bombs the location, you won't be able to recognize or identify the people that they killed. So the UN won't get a correct count. Guys, this was terrible. And then Mike from the world actually stepped up and even really gave us some numbers that was really bad when he said that somewhere around 70,000 people were dead. And I said, 70,000? He said, yes, 70,000. So this thing is really, really bad, okay? No doubt about that. So we talked quite a bit about the Iranian situation and what's happening with that. Wow. It's just bad. Matter of fact, let's go here. Here's Mike from around the world on the naval buildup and what it meant. Trump has put the USS Abraham Lincoln, the USS George W. Bush, a bunch of other ships and bombers and planes and missiles and subs and whatever else. I mean, he called it an armada. Can you tell me the difference from a flotilla and an armada?
Well, the verbiage is unique to the individual. In this case, Trump did say something, though. He said, when anybody says with speed and violence of action, right?
Yeah.
That's taught in special operations. That's actually a type of tactical doctrine, right? And that was funny when he said that, because he kind of let the cat out the bag, what he was doing. So regardless of what he's talking about, the rhetoric, I believe that this is a move. It's a very careful move. And it'll unfold. This will be like a flower unfolding. But President Trump sent a comment. This is for, I mean, he absolutely sent, prepared for combat, a complete outfit there. I'm going to say outfit. Okay. A flotilla is you're looking at observation or something like that. What President Trump has dispatched there is for war.
And it's offensive. In other words, it's offensive. It's not defensive.
Right.
I mean,
right.
But this is
essentially a strike force. This is a strike force. This is not for maintaining, shipping lanes or something like that.
I mean, this was very disturbing when Mike went into that, but he's telling you there's a big difference. A flotilla is like you send out ships to protect shipping lanes or to discourage people from coming into a certain area, letting them all know that, hey, look, this is off limits right now. Don't be crossing this. An armada is a war, an act of war. It's sending multiple military assets because you're preparing to do a military attack. And you don't send, I've said this, you guys have heard me say this before, you don't send this many military assets to something just to back off. This is definite. I mean, yes, it can be averted if the Ayatollah Khomeini will just give up, okay, and take his regime and get out of there. But if not, it looks like it's really going to get rough. Okay, so we're watching this very, very closely. But there was more highlights also last night that we got into, not just only about the Iranian situation. Mike blew our minds with this ancient. He talked about an ancient life thawing viruses, worms and stuff coming out of the frozen ice, that he took it to another level. Okay.
There are frogs that have been in some of the deep ice that have come back to life. Frogs that have not been alive for about 50,000 years.
What?
Worms that have not been alive for 50,000 years. They're coming back to life, right? That seems impossible. Viruses.
Frozen
fungi,
in the ice? Is it from
bacteria?
the
That's right. Frozen
permafrost?
in the ice. That's
okay,
right.
Okay.
And it's just now melting, and this stuff is coming back to life. Flesh-eating bacteria coming back to life. So we're gonna have a host of brand new things to deal with, right? Ocean-borne things that we don't know how to deal with, or can't. So we don't know what's been leaked out. Some of the samples are. They got the scientists excited for a time, but now it's not that way, because they say, hey, this is a dangerous situation.
Yeah, it is.
Because we don't know what's in the oceans anymore, right? I wouldn't be surprised if this year people start to catch something from the ocean water, and they just don't know what it is.
I mean, this was incredible. When he said 50,000-year-old frogs, what? 50,000-year-old frogs? I just don't know. I don't know. I mean, yeah, but I can understand viruses do live in frozen ice. I know that. I know frogs are reptilians. What? Did I just say reptilians? Yeah, they are. They're reptiles. And you can freeze a frog and then thaw it back out. There's fish you could do that to as well. So I'm not shocked. But I mean, it is kind of interesting that life can be preserved in ice for these certain kinds of species for 50,000 years, wherever that number come from. I mean, how about just 2,000 years, okay? And then when thawed back out, it can come back to life. This is a very interesting, but the fact is, what he's saying is, because the permafrost is melting, we got some serious problems, okay? We really, really do. So, yeah. Wow. But there was more highlights than that last night. He rocked our world with, and I thought this was very, very important. We talk about this coming global spiritual deception, and how should we prepare?
And it's not going to be long until humanity deals with a spiritual element they probably did not count on. See, while we're thinking conventional things and conventional wars and things of that nature, many people have to remember that in prophecy, some unnatural things are going to be released upon the earth.
Wow.
And if that is true, and we know it is, then those who study prophecy, who have control over archaeology, have already dug up the remnants. You know, there's a place in Revelation that states, they'll behold the beast that was and is not. And no, they'll behold the beast.
Yeah.
And yet is. And they'll wonder, here it is, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the earth. So they're going to see something and then wonder if they're even part of humanity. Right? Yeah. They're going to wonder whose names were never in the book of life. So it's like somebody saying, well, I wonder if I was human. So we're going to have the identification of some things, right? And people will begin to affiliate themselves first with some sort of new thing they think they're seeing all the while.
Is that part of
there'll be an unleashing of some spiritual things on the earth, and people know this, that people are aware of this. But how do you prepare the populace for something like that?
Well, you have to take them to the Word of God. You got to explain to them that there's going to be a lot of deception. A lot of deception. I mean, Jesus said that, right? And it's not just false prophets and false Christ. I mean, we're talking about massive deception on a global scale. It's spiritually blinding the eyes of mankind. I mean, you know, Mike brought this up when he said, people will be wondering, am I even human? Now, he said that last night, and, you know, it was a long night, and the show got over almost midnight, and I'm laying in bed last night, and I'm winding down. What? Yes, I'm trying to wind down. And that phrase popped in my head. People will wonder if they're even human. And then it came to me. It's because of the alien deception. It's because this, you know, I've told you guys that first there's creationism. That's the word of God. That's the truth. God created all things. Read Genesis chapter 1. Then we got lied to with Charles Darwinism that man just evolved. We came from a monkey or an ape, or we crawled out of the sea, and that we evolved through evolution, through natural selection, and it became Darwinism. But the problem is, Darwinism fell flat on its face when DNA was discovered, and they could run the DNA on every species on the planet, including man, and there's nowhere, anywhere, any other DNA from any other animal at all is in the human DNA. None. Okay? So Darwinism died. So along comes alienism. That's what I'm calling it. Alienism. And because of alien, that what you say, what's alienism? That's saying that we did not come from God, the creator, but we were seeded here by aliens, by extraterrestrials from some other galaxy or planet. And they came here and they seeded us here. We're the offspring, they say, of an alien race or races of aliens. And that we're now here and we're struggling and we're about ready to blow each other up with nuclear war. And so they're coming back to save us. Yes, that is Luca. Yes, that's Luca and that's Reeves. Okay. I was wondering when somebody would pick up on that. Yeah, my granddaughter, Lexi Begley, she loves Luca. She loves the Pacers, but she loves Luca. Plays for the Los Angeles Lakers. So for Christmas, she buys me a shirt with Luca and Reeves on it and I think there was a movie or something like that, like the brothers or something, and they're wearing the clothing of the brothers. That's why I'm wearing it. I'm just seeing if anybody would pick up on it. I know my granddaughter Lexi certainly will pick up on it. Okay, so thank you for picking up on it. All right. So anyway, yes, you have creationism, Darwinism, and now what I call alienism. And so Mike made that little statement there. He snuck it in on us guys when he said people will wonder if they're even human. That's because they're going to be deceived, and they're being deceived by the lies of what's happening right now, okay? It's just unbelievable. All right. And speaking of alien disclosure, this was talked about last night also. Let me tell you something. This alien disclosure is part of the strong delusion. It is a trick of the devil. It is the deception from hell. It is Lucifer and the fallen angels that are manipulating mankind who don't study the word. And it's deception with a capital D. It's deception. It's damnation. It's deceit. It's destruction. Yeah, it really is. And it's all tied up into a neat little bow. It's an alien deception, and it's the alien disclosure. Could it be easy just to say alien disclosure? No, it's alien deception. It's really demonic forces from the smoky pits of hell that are these are demon spirits masquerading as E.T. phone home. And this is all you're hearing, movies about it, and you're hearing, and now you got people preaching. Let me just say this. There's a guy on YouTube right now. I know who he is. I know him. I know you know him if I say his name, so I won't. But he's preaching that the Jewish people in Israel are from an alien seed. He's saying, and he quotes scriptures, and he's good at that. He can run here, run around there. But guys, it's a lie. He doesn't give you the full rest of the context of the scripture. When Jesus said to those in Israel, you're of your father, the devil. He says that's because they're the seed of Satan. Then when he says, you, O ye generation of vipers, he's saying that's because they are reptilian. No. He's saying this about their doctrine, not them, not their DNA. That's ridiculous. And he'll run over to Ezra, and there's a scripture in the book of Ezra. It talks about how that the Levites started marrying in with other pagan tribes. And those pagan tribes are actually from the descendants of the Nephilim. And they married in and had children. And finally, God said, hold it a minute. You guys you're the priesthood. You're the Levitical priesthood. You can't be marrying in with these other people. And the Lord gave him 3 days. He said, you got 3 days. You got to send those those wives you married and the kids of the offsprings, you got to send those wives and those children away and come and follow me. You bring your Jewish wives and your Jewish children with you, and we're going to move on. But you leave the rest of them. You send them back. And if you don't, then you go away. Okay. And so that was the real story in the book of Ezra if you read it. And if you read it, you understand that none of that genetic Nephilim bloodline came to Israel. That's not part of the tribes. That's not them. So again, it's anti-Semitic teaching out there. Anti-Semitic teaching is that somehow the Jews are descendants of the Nephilim. Okay, no, the Jews are the ones that wiped out the Nephilim, the tribes, the giants, the Amaleks, the Moabites, the Jebusites, the Hittite, the Amalekites, the Amaleks. I mean, all of them, all the pests, termites and parasites and all of them. Okay, they ran them off. They defeated them. That's not what Jesus meant at all. All right, enough preaching. Let's get back to the highlights. All right. So Mike was really on fire last night, and he dropped a lot of bombs. So yeah, we talked about, the global deception, the Iranian crackdown with thousands being killed, the ancient viruses coming out of the frozen ice, the alien disclosure, and I brought that all up in my teachings of the strong delusion. And then I asked him a question. I said, what about the atmospheric compression? We started talking about these storms. I mean, this massive storm we had. And the one that's getting ready to hit again this weekend in North Carolina and all along the East Coast from New England to Florida. And here's what Mike said.
If you had a glass and you filled up that glass 1/4 full, right? That's where we are. There's a whole lot more room.
So these
clouds.
Now
this is just beginning. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you've been teaching us for several years about the atmospheric compression.
Yes.
That the jet streams are coming closer to the surface of the earth, creating more wind, more hail. More, does that also create more moisture? Is it because you're squeezing it and you're keeping the moisture in the squeeze?
It's when you have atmospheric compression, because of heavier particulates or greater density of particulates, right?
Okay.
You have more dust in the upper atmospheres. Now moisture will cling to that dust. It won't simply disperse and change to something else. It will cling to that dust.
Okay.
Right. So it will collect in the upper atmospheres in great amounts, greater and greater amounts. And with the heat, Pastor Paul, that ability for a cloud to be of an unbelievable weight will just expand, especially this summer. If you think this winter is starting to show its head, right? If we make it through this winter, this summer is going to be far.
This summer's going to be far worse, he says. Okay. I mean, this was a great conversation. You'll need to go and watch the broadcast last night in its entirety to get Mike's full explanation about the change of the weather patterns and why. He even talks about the equator changing, okay, because of a global shift or pole shifts. He talks about what's going on in the Arctic circles, and we get into more of the atmospheric changes and how these clouds and all of this stuff. It's really, really fascinating. So that's one of the highlights from last night. I think it was tremendous. So yeah, Mike was excellent last night in talking about that as well. And he began to talk also about the conflict will become a faith war. Again, we go back to some of this, what's going on, and the confrontation is taking place in the Middle East. Let's listen.
That will be the beginning of a faith war. This is not the USA and Iran. You're going to see the entirety of the Middle East change their tune if it happens. And see, that's one of my biggest cautions, because I know that if we go to war with Iran, a short war, change out their regime, that's a direct assault against their faith. They will see it as such. While everybody sees the hostile acts of this regime, while you have 70,000 dead, and that number is Could be more than that.
Are you
That's
serious,
about
Mike?
70,000.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
70,000?
Yeah, it's about 70,000. While you have that, you still have supporting factions in the Middle East that's normal to them.
You know,
I'm telling you now, that's normal to them.
I know, and I guess I have to ask that. You know, they're deliberately, I believe the media is deliberately not releasing the real numbers here, because if they did, I mean, no, if they did, then, that my point was President Trump would literally have to do something. I mean, so if the media starts saying, look, we got confirmation reports that there's at least 70,000 people have been killed in 3 weeks in Iran, and that over 2,000 of them have had their eyes shot out, and that women are being raped and butchered, people being butchered in rooms down in the dungeons and tortured. I mean, if that was, at some point there'd be this outcry by the world, really, and certainly the American people. You got to deal with these guys, okay? So what President Trump's got to do is slow that down a minute while getting his armada completely in position so that he can then pull the trigger. And the whole time he's getting in position, he's telling the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, you need to get out of there. Take your regime and go. Get on a leaky boat to Florida, or get in a plane with missing a wing. And Florida, did I say Florida? Don't send them to Florida, to Russia. Put them on a leaky boat to Russia, or on a plane missing a wing to Russia. But get them out of there. Tell them they got to go. Okay. Wow. Oh, that's crazy. But that's the time we're living in right now, and it's wow. But Mike was on fire last night again, dropping a lot of bombs, and so we're going through the highlights. If you want to watch the entire broadcast, it's right here on YouTube. Just go on my Paul Begley Prophecy channel. Just go on the main channel and just watch this broadcast from last night. It is fascinating. The bombs, the prophetic bombs he kept dropping last night. Okay, and he did. He said there's a difference between a flotilla and an armada. Trump has put the USS Abraham Lincoln, the USS George W. Bush, a bunch of other ships and bombers and planes and missiles.
Yeah.
And subs and whatever else. I mean, he called it an armada. Can you tell me the difference from a flotilla and an armada?
Well, the verbiage is unique to the individual. In this case, Trump did say something, though. He said, when anybody says with speed and violence of action, right?
Yeah.
That's taught in special operations. That's actually a type of tactical doctrine, right? And that was funny when he said that, because he kind of let the cat out the bag, what he was doing. So regardless of what he's talking about, the rhetoric, I believe that this is a move. It's a very careful move. And it'll unfold. This will be like a flower unfolding. But President Trump sent a comment. This is for. I mean, he absolutely sent, prepared for combat, a complete outfit there. I'm going to say outfit. Okay. A flotilla is you're looking at observation or something like that. What President Trump has dispatched there is for war.
And it's offensive. In other words, it's offensive. It's not defensive.
Right.
I mean,
right.
But this is
essentially a strike force. This is a strike force. This is not for maintaining, shipping lanes or something like that.
Yeah. So Mike does a great job explaining the difference between the flotilla and the armada. That Trump is getting himself in position to force something to happen. Okay, just no doubt about that. So, yeah, we're watching. Again, we're getting little highlights. You're getting just little pieces and clips from last night, but the whole broadcast was incredible. But we got some more highlights here that I think it's important. We talked about some other things as well that is very important for the time we are living in. And let me give you just an example of that. Black mold.
Mold is going to be a big problem this year.
It's bad.
Everybody has heard of black mold.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
And black mold spores. Well, it mutated. So in
Wait
other
a
words,
minute. Wait,
things
whoa.
that used to kill black mold won't kill it, won't kill certain strands anymore. And it's only a matter of time before those type spores take over all over the place.
So black mold has mutated to where it's harder to kill.
Yes.
And that's
UV light won't do anything to it. Sunlight won't do anything to it. It is hydrophobic. So it is, it's going to be tough to kill.
Well,
Bleach will take too long. It'll take too long. So then the standard methods of getting rid of it won't work for the new type, right? There's also a fungus that took on the characteristics of something similar to black mold, right? And the worst part about it is the new strand of black mold, it likes human skin.
Oh, no, Mike.
Oh, Mike.
A black mold is one thing, but a black mold on the skin. No, Mike. We don't want a black mold on the skin. There's definitely, he's saying that there's a fungus among us. And Mike's telling you about the frogs. Earlier in this broadcast here, last night, he told us about how frogs, 50,000-year-old frogs in the ice, when it's being thawed out, they're coming out to life. He's telling us that there's viruses that we have never even heard of and didn't even know existed are being released as the ice melts. He's now telling us that there's some black mold that ain't got nothing to do with the ice. There's just black mold now that has mutated, and it is now you can't kill it. You can't bleach. It takes too long. It's clean, and it wants to cling to the human skin. No. But that's what Mike is saying. And the Bible says we're going to have plagues and we're going to have these pestilences, different diseases. So this really does go along with the biblical prophecies of the end times. And Mike is now telling us that this fungus among us is going to spread, and the diseases. And we're seeing people, all kinds of new viruses and diseases, and it's just getting started. What we went through with COVID, that's just the beginning, okay? What we went through with the pandemic is just the beginning. But wow. But there was more than that, guys. There was more than that. Last night, besides the fungus among us, it's pretty interesting. But I asked the question, if it hits the fan, will it cause World War III? If this thing hits the fan, and I shouldn't say if it does, it's going to. I don't know when, but it's going to. We are going to go into World War III if we're not already there. And I think you said that last week. We're already there.
Yeah. I have a high suspicion this round of things is going to hold some type of permanence to it. It's going to change a lot.
So in other words,
I see a season coming. I see a different season coming altogether.
Do you see confrontation? Let me ask you this. If we engage militarily with Iran, are you concerned that others may jump in? I mean, really? I mean, China or Russia, or at least North Korea. Do you see somebody else jumping in here?
Yes. Yeah, I do. But the worst problem is with China, Russia, Iran, and 5 different other factions in the Middle East.
Yeah, he said, yes, I see others jumping in. And so that we're getting closer. What I keep hearing from Mike week after week after week is we're getting closer and closer and closer to World War III. Now, in my book, Revelation 9:11, I revealed to you that when Apollyon, as he comes out of the bottomless pit, and I had a vision, In July of 2021, I saw him. I saw an angel open the key with a key, open the bottomless pit and let him out. He came out and he released 4 more demons, 4 more fallen angels that were bound under the river Euphrates. There was a ton of smoke and locusts and demonic forces come roaring out of hell when he came out. I saw it in the vision. Then I began to see apocalyptic events taking place: earthquakes, wildfires, tsunamis, floodwaters, just chaos, wars and rumors of wars and all kinds of chaos. People hungry. I've seen people with little cups trying to get some rice to eat. I've seen all of this catastrophic sickness and disease. And the Lord said to me, the hour has come. It's upon mankind. Go warn the people. Revelation 9:11. That's why I wrote the book. Now my next book coming out is going to be, it's unbelievable. Matter of fact, I'm working on it today. I'll be working with Troy Anderson, my co-author. We'll be working together this afternoon again as we're working on chapters 7 and 8 right now. The book will be released this spring. And so it's incredible the things that are happening, how incredible the prophecies of the last days are truly coming to pass. Okay? But last night was an incredible broadcast. We got some more highlights from last night. You'll have to listen to the entire broadcast if you want to get all the information. And listen to this. Mike brought up something also about why Russia was pleading for restraints. Why are they pleading with the United States about restraining with Iran? Russia has stepped in, urging restraint, warning the United States not to use force in Iran. But church, I'm going to be honest with you. Russia's not calling for peace because they love Iran. They're calling for restraint because they are bleeding themselves. They depend on Iran for their killer drones. New casualty reports are estimating that up to 1.2 million Russian troops have either died or were wounded or missing in the war with Ukraine. Yeah, I mean, so this is big time information. This is what proves the point that what Mike Around the World was saying. That, look, remember how many times he said that Russia and Iran are joined at the hip? How many times has he said that? And it's true. They really are. And it's not just Russia and Iran, but you got to put in China. And then the fourth little buddy is North Korea. And this is why I wrote in my book, Revelation 9:11, I call it the axis of evil. And they really are. It's a vortex of evil is the term I like to use, because it's trying to swallow the world into one of the demonic evil periods in our time. But it's not the only thing Mike talked about last night. Let's get some more highlights. And this was a great broadcast. So many truth bombs were dropped. I'm telling you, you definitely want to, you just got to watch the program. I mean, let's give you the highlights, but you really do. I mean, there's way more highlights than what I'm going to give to you. Okay. Here's what and Mike brought this point out. We're talking about Iran, China, Russia. Listen to this. Look what's already happening.
That this is one of those situations. It really is a marker in time. Never has the USA ever confronted Iran. Never. This is a direct confrontation of the USA and Iran for the first time, right? And it's involving the entire globe. You may want to know that China and Russia, they are conducting or about to conduct war games with Iran. Do you know that?
No, I did not know that.
We have ships on the way. Some are there, some have arrived. Ships from China, ships from Russia. to conduct war games with Iran.
Wow. So there you go. Ships from China, ships from Russia to do war games with Iran. That's not being talked about anywhere in the media. That's nowhere in the media. Okay. And Mike told us last night, when you listen to the whole broadcast, about there's a ship sinking right now. And that's being kept very quiet as well. There's things that are happening that are certainly crossing the line. Okay. Absolutely crossing the line. Guys, don't forget to get your tickets for the webinar. You can get your tickets right now. The webinar was incredible. The Beast Cometh. And the speakers were off the chain. Everybody's talking about the Standeo alien disclosure revelation, the information that he shared and shows you. It was incredible. And oh, by the way, John, the AI guy, did a complete demonstration about the power of AI. He shows you what it's doing and what it can do. And also, there was some tremendous revelation by Agent X and Daniel Lalamere, okay? And Russ Dizdar, 8 years ago, prophesying on the air with me. It's a great interview. I think we go about 40, 50 minutes with Russ Dizdar, and he explains super soldiers were coming with new technology. 8 years ago, Russ Dizdar was calling it exactly as it is, the technology advancing. So, yeah, there's a lot that's taking place. But let's go back to the highlights. Last night, we're doing highlights from last night's broadcast with Mike from around the world. And listen to this, why God delays judgment. Okay? This is very important, but I'm going to tell you that in a minute. But I want to first go right here. Mike also brought up this. NASA will have a revival and a defense grid in space.
You will notice, I'll put it this way. You'll notice, Pastor Paul, this year, you're going to notice, number one, there's going to be a resurgence in a few topics to get people's minds off what's happening. But you will notice a revitalized NASA.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And you will notice the announcement of a type of grid in space. A grid that will be for defense, and there will be some tests. For example, if an object is headed here, and they successfully blow it up and people see it's blown up, right?
Yeah.
That'll be a great demonstration for people to see, to kind of renew their confidence in a few things.
Yeah, I mean, he, again, brings things about certain things blowing up, certain things going to happen. He's telling you NASA's going to have a revival. But what I think I'm hearing him say, there's going to be there's already a space race for control of space, control of the air, control of land, and control of sea. Space has become the new frontier of war. There's no denying that. And so Mike is giving us information last night. If you missed the broadcast last night, go back and watch it in its entirety. I just want to give you some highlights and let us discuss it a little bit here today, because I think it's that powerful. And maybe this is a thing I should do on Friday mornings if I can, is let's go back and look at that. But matter of fact, we also talked about the Antichrist, the son of perdition. I read from Scripture on that one. Except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed. That's the son of perdition. That is the Antichrist, who opposeth and he exalteth himself above all that is called God. That's the church. Or that is worshipped. That's God. So that he, as God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. That is the abomination of desolation that Christ warned us of. And when the Antichrist walks into the third temple in Jerusalem and declares to the whole world that he is God. That is when it happens, is when the Antichrist walks into that third temple that is going to be built and declares that he is God. Now, the third temple's not built yet. So, as you know, we're not going to have an Antichrist reveal himself and take over. But the beast system that he will rule is being implemented fast. I mean, fast. There's no denying that. Okay. There's just no denying that. Matter of fact, we also looked at the Trump ultimatum last night. So, folks, all of my online church, every one of you, brothers and sisters in Christ, tonight we're standing on the edge of history. Listen, what we're getting ready to witness right now is not a rumor. It's not speculation. It's not a conspiracy. What? No, it's a collision of prophecy, power, and pressure unfolding in real time right before our eyes. Tonight's broadcast is titled The Iranian Crackdown, or the Iranian the Trump ultimatum. I can't remember what I called it. The countdown. I mean, it's crazy. It's the Trump ultimatum. If you heard of the Bourne ultimatum, this is the Trump ultimatum. Well, this is not just about Iran either tonight. No, it wasn't just about Iran. And even though Iran is big and everybody's watching to see what's going to happen, it's a bigger picture than that, to be honest. It's much, much larger situation. And things are really out of control at this point. And for instance, when you start saying 1.2 million casualties, just Russia, not counting Ukraine, just Russian soldiers dead, wounded, or missing. Let's go over into Russia for a minute. They announced about 1.2 million casualties. Russia is saying that are either dead, wounded, or missing in this war. This is the Russian side. I don't even know what the number is on the Ukrainian side. This is horrific. I mean, it's beyond. It's nothing like this has happened since World War II, and it seems like it's going nowhere. Just people dying. Is there any end in sight here, Mike? Any?
Yeah, there will be when Putin has consumed all he wants to consume, and with the help of al-Shabaab.
Now he stopped. It didn't go on there, the highlight, but he starts to talk about al-Sharaa. Al-Sharaa is, of course, the new leader of Syria, and Mike brings this in that he says, when will this war end? He said, yeah, when Putin has consumed all he wants to consume. In other words, when Putin has killed all the people he wants to kill. And maybe, as Mike has been saying, he's never going to leave Ukraine till he takes the whole country. He don't care. He's no hurry. He'll just keep grinding. And then he brings in al-Sharaa, who is now the new de facto president, I guess, of Syria. This guy is also known as Jolani. He's a terrorist. He's a brutal terrorist who fought against the U.S. Forces in Iraq back in 2003. We arrested him in 2003. We kept him in a military detention for 5 years. The guy gets out. He forms another terrorist. He was part of Al-Qaeda. Then he formed another one called Al-Nusra. And then he ends up raising up another group and overthrowing Bashar al-Assad. And now the world is wanting to accept this guy. And part of the reason I think they're accepting him is not because he's a good guy at all, but because you got to hold your friends close and your enemies closer. And somebody's going to have to, fill the void. So let's let that guy, we'll take him out later if he gets out of control. Well, he will get out of control. I believe that al-Sharaa of Syria is actually the Assyrian in the Bible. And I've talked about that a lot. I've read it to you, and I've showed you that in prophecy, and I really believe he is. And here you hear Mike bringing him back up again because Mike knows this guy is not going to go away. But we talked about storms last night. We talked about animals losing fear. Well, let's talk about the storms. So while all that's going on, the signs in the earth, storms. We just came through this incredible storm that I'm starting to wonder maybe was genetically modified. not genetically, but artificially? Was HARP involved? We know for sure that some kind of seeding for moisture was certainly there. But this thing was not even natural. We're talking 2,000-mile-long storm. Bitter, it's still going on. Bitter cold. Snow. 17 different states received at least a foot of snow somewhere in their state. 17 states. That's never happened in the history of since we've been keeping records. And let me just shift gears for a minute, because prophecy doesn't unfold in isolation. As war drum beats overseas, nature itself is roaring here at home. And I believe that this storm was a storm of biblical proportion, but it may have gotten some help. Let's just say that. Meteorologists are now warning of a snow bomb cyclone, a nor'easter, expected to strike the East Coast this weekend. From North Carolina through southern New Jersey, all the way up the East Coast to New England, and down as far as Florida. I mean, this is bad, and I'm looking at it right now. The nor'easter bomb cyclone, they're calling it. The nor'easter bomb cyclone. Crazy. To blast the Carolinas with heavy snow and coastal flooding. Now, you've heard Mike from around the world talk about coastal flooding that is going to take place. So, folks, I'm telling you right now, it's not going to go away. These storms of biblical proportion, Mike from around the world has been telling us about this, that they were coming 5 years ago, 6 years ago. He talked about it, said, you're going to see. I remember that because if you think in your mind, you go back to those Thursday night broadcasts 6, 7 years ago when Mike says, oh, by the way, there's going to be storms that are going to be all the way across the country. Oh, by the way, there's going to be atmospheric compression. It's going to create straight line winds like we've never seen before. There's going to be storms. There's going to be coastal flooding, and it's going to begin to flood everywhere. And, and you're going to see also wildfires. I remember him saying that before we ever had the California wildfires. Not just the one we had in Los Angeles last year, but what about that wildfire we had 5-6 years ago, burnt L.A. Marzulli's house down? Okay? Speaking of L.A. Marzulli, he's going to be on our next webinar. Alien disclosure. Or should I say alien deception? But, yeah, this is going to be bad. It really is going to be bad. And so pray. But Mike is talking about these storms. But I wanted to bring it up last night, so that's why I did bring this up, that we have these incredible storms that don't seem to be losing any steam. And what about the animals losing fear and rising attacks from bears and panthers? What is Mike talking about? And then we got these piranhas over in Brazil that in a swimming area where they tourists, very, very popular tourist area where people swim, a spool of piranhas just showed up and injured 10 people. Is this part of the groaning? Is that part of what you said, the animals will start changing?
Yeah, people have, they have different ideas about the four horsemen, so to speak, right?
Okay.
And everybody has different ideas.
Yeah.
My ideas are out there, but everybody has different ideas.
That's okay.
Where it says, and one of the horses where men begin to die by wild beasts, right?
It says that.
By different things. I believe that's building. I say that because you have like places like Japan who have active warnings out against bears. Well, there's a lot of places have active warnings out against bears. The East Coast, there are going to be some warnings issued about Black Panthers on the East Coast, right?
Wow.
There have been some deaths that took place in the last couple of days. People have been spotting Black Panthers for the last month on the East Coast, and they are roaming. Animals are.
We got them down here in Florida.
Losing their footing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, they're losing their footing. And they've lost their fear of humanity. When an wild animal hangs around humanity like that, it will challenge humanity just like it does any other creature in the wild, having lost its fear. And so we're going to have a problem with bears and cats and all sorts of things.
Cat?
You know, and sadly,
Panthers.
everybody's on the menu.
Everyone's on the menu. When he said that, I about lost it. Everybody's on the menu. Are you serious, Mike? Everybody's on the menu. But what he's saying is, and he's been telling us this, and then he brought it into the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, how that it does say that men will die because of the beast of the earth. Okay? So it is in the Bible. And so now we're seeing wild boars eating people. We got elephants crushing people. We got sharks biting people at record things. And we got piranhas showing up out of nowhere. We got great white sharks showing up in the East Coast, way up north of the Atlantic. We got all kinds of wild animals running wild, and we got dogs and cats and bears and all kinds of different things happening. Snakes, just craziness. But these are some of the things that we definitely talked about last night in the broadcast last night. And these are tonight. And so I'm just going through some of the highlights, giving you just a little pieces of it. You need to listen to the entire broadcast. It's on right now on my YouTube channel. You can go watch tonight. And so, yeah, I mean, it's just some really incredible stuff that we talked about last night. So, look, I'm just going to say right now, the doomsday clock moved forward. Now it's 85 seconds. Cholera crisis. There's all kinds of stuff we talked about last night. But one thing's for sure, all of these things that Mike discussed and we talked about, all of these are really pointing us toward the reality that we're in the end times, that we're in the last days, and that the judgment of God, the wrath of God really is coming. And matter of fact, I think God has delayed his judgment as long as the church continues to move forward with power. And you have to wonder, when he sees the wickedness, when he sees the murder, when he sees the evil, how does he refrain from turning to his right hand and saying, son, it's time to go and get the bride? What's holding God back from that, making that decision? I'm going to tell you what it is. It's his grace. He's extending it. He's extending it for every human being on the earth. And if you're watching tonight and you haven't given your life to Christ, it's time to come home. Hello? Okay, we lost that. I lost that one, okay? I lost that one. Guys, we're going to finish with a song here and be right back with the final statements from Mike from around the world. Yes, 50,000 frogs coming, 50,000-year-old frogs.
He was saying grace over a Tuesday blue plate special when the man in the next booth said, don't you watch TV? Don't you know that God's a myth? I hate to see you waste your breath. There ain't no use in you talking to a ghost that don't exist. The praying man said amen and looked up from his plate and said, you may not talk to God right now, but there's gonna come a day. If you're a farmer in the field, praying for the rain, or you curse him at the gravesite, cause he called her loved one's name, you can thank him, you can blame him, either way you're gonna face him, whether you believe in him or not. In the end, everybody talks to God. The man in the booth went quiet, cause he didn't have a comeback. So he shrugged it off and he paid his tab. He shuffled out the door. And the praying man, he prayed for the man who drove away, hoping he would see the light before it got too late. But how was he to know he touched an unbeliever's soul? Who got that conversation 2 red lights down the road? If you're a farmer in the field,
I got one question.
Praying for the rain, or you curse him at the graveside
That I forgot to ask Mike.
Call the loved one's name. You can thank him,
You can blame him. Either way, you're gonna face him. Whether you believe in him or not. 'Cause in the end,
everybody talks to God. Everybody talks
coffee.
to God. You can thank him, you can blame him. Either way, you're gonna face him. Whether you believe in him or not. 'Cause in the end,
everybody talks to God.
everybody talks to God.
We all talk to God. I'm going to show you this behind me here. I'm going to put up here for you is the nor'easter cyclone bomb. Call it what you want to call it. But here is the current map of what's getting ready to take place. Let me find it real fast. Okay, here we go. And boy, Raleigh, really, right here. You can see Raleigh, North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, really North Carolina is going to get hit hard. So will Knoxville, Tennessee, for that matter. Okay. So will Knoxville, Tennessee. And Norfolk, it's going to go up to, Roanoke, Norfolk, Virginia, Kill Devil Hills is going to get it, all along, Wilmington. But then when you go on down South Carolina and then on into Savannah, Georgia, and you go all the way in even to the little northern part of Florida, Jacksonville. And then, so this is a massive, and it's going to work its way up to New England. And what you have is tons of snow and a nor'easter storm coming in from the Atlantic Ocean, swirling and dropping incredible storm upon the people. So we're praying for everybody, really are, especially up there in the mountains, North Carolina and Appalachia part. I mean, and Tennessee. I'm telling you, I just don't like it. But here we go again. So this is a separate storm. This is not the same storm as what we just went through. We didn't even get done with this last storm. And then this thing comes out of nowhere. But this is what we're dealing with. And so we got to have a lot of prayer going out. Okay. A lot of prayer going out. There was one thing. Mike dropped a bomb right in the middle of the conversation. So I was talking to him about something, and he said, in the Northern Pacific something's going to happen in the Northern Pacific. He just dropped it. And I paused and thought, I'll come back to you on that one. But I finished my train of thought. He then talked about the question, and then the conversation went on, and I forgot to go back and ask him, what do you mean by the Northern Pacific? Something's going to happen. So I apologize for that, but he threw that at me right in the middle of a conversation, right in the middle of a sentence, and I forgot to go back to it. Sometimes Mike is good at doing that, okay? I know I'm bad. I sometimes interrupt him. I know that. I'm so sorry, but I've got so many questions. Mike can talk 15 minutes on one question if you let him. And he told me, interrupt me anytime you want because you know how I am. And sometimes I maybe jump in there a little too quick. But this time he dropped one on me that I forgot to go back and get. So I will ask him about that next week, okay? We definitely will. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this morning's going over some of the highlights. We just barely scratched the surface of the highlights of what really went on last night in that broadcast. So please take your time, watch the broadcast in its entirety, because really the first hour, the information, all of the news cycle that I brought up that was going on and everything happening, that first hour was dynamic. So you want to listen to that and then get into the conversation with Mike from around the world, because there's so much in that broadcast. Main thing you want to do is give your life to Jesus Christ. Now, I want to throw this out real fast. It's true. Yeah, you saw me pick it up. This is, we got coffee that you can order. I got all kinds of coffee. I mean, I got Are You Serious coffee. I got Jamaican Mint Crazy coffee. I got hazelnut coffee. I got Guatemala coffee. I got all kinds. But this is the newest brand, which is the Revelation 911 coffee. That was brewed and developed by one of our online followers. And so we've got some of this coffee available. You can place an order today. We'll ship it tomorrow and get this headed to you, okay? And also, Heidi said, did you forget to tell people about the silver last night? Paul, we're in the middle of all kinds of issues, so I'm going to do it now, okay? Get your silver before you go anywhere. Go to our website right now. Make sure you have a ticket for the webinar. Make sure you get your Salvation Station hoodies that have just hit with 11 different colors. Make sure you do these things, okay? Don't let that slip by. But also, Heidi is telling me, Paul, tell people to get their ticket to the Beast Cometh webinar. But she said you got to also tell them to get their silver. So, yes, the Silver Immune, here it is with all of this weather and changing and all of these things that are floating around. You got to build up your immune system, This will build it up, okay? We're not saying it cures things. We're saying it builds your immunity against it. That's very important. If you got a sore throat or you want to get ahead of it in case that happens, I have not found any lozenges anywhere, and I can say that boldly without no hesitation, that this is the best lozenges I've ever had. It's silver lozenges with vitamin C. You want to have a bag of this. You want to have a bag or two of these sitting around anytime that you start to get a little scratchy, sore throat, or anything starts to happen. You want instant relief. It's here. Get that now. That's at our website again at paulbegleyprophecy.com. Also, the wound gel, silver wound gel. We'd have never got through World War II with all the injured soldiers if we didn't have silver salve for wound gels for people. Also, a lot of people like this. Silver toothpaste. I mean, why not? Doesn't that almost where all the germs began? Get your silver toothpaste. It's available at our website as well. And also, some people love to do this. A little protection there because of the silver immune support nasal spray. The nasal spray, really good. That's another way to get out ahead of everything. And if you're having trouble with the muscles and the soreness, yep, we got Silver Recover Muscle Cream. Great product. It's all available at our website. Go there right now. Get your silver today. Go get it today, okay? All right. I love all of you guys. I hope you enjoyed the highlight broadcast. Don't forget the prophecy conference that's going to be held in Birmingham, Alabama at Solid Rock, as we played that video earlier in the broadcast and the very beginning there. Check it out. Don't miss that. It's $79 for a ticket to come to that conference in Birmingham. But if you use the promo code Paul, I think it is, you get to save $20 on that. Okay. So check it out. Be sure you're ready to go to the prophecy conference. Tickets will be available at the door. Be sure you go to the prophecy conference which is going to be March 27, 28, and 29. Now, I am preaching Sunday morning on the 29th, and also Sunday night of the 29th, if I'm physically able to do that. I believe I can. Don't miss that conference. But there's going to be Friday night, all day Saturday, and Sunday morning and Sunday evening at the Prophecy Conference in Birmingham. Solid Rock Church with Bishop Larry Ragland and his wife, Sandy. All right. God bless all of you guys. I'll be back with more current world events and how they relate to biblical prophecy. I hope you guys enjoyed. Did you guys enjoy the special highlight broadcast that I did? If you do, you want me to do that on Fridays after the fact, we'll do it. I think it's a great way to get to remind, because you know what? You watch that program and then you're like, now what all do they talk about? I need to go back and watch that again. I mean, a lot of people tell me that. This is a good way to help remind you of some of the things we talk about. But even in these highlights, didn't even scratch the surface of everything we talked about. Okay. But at least it stimulates and help you to bring it into remembrance. And you could talk with others in the chat room while we analyze Thursday night broadcast. Good night, everybody, or good day, everybody, or have a great day, everybody. What are you saying? I need some more coffee. I mean, look, guys, I was up late last night with that program. Are you serious?